Welcome to another episode of Divine Energetic Coding in the Bible. In this one, we're going to talk about that Yeshua and Paul both spoke in code. And here's why. So we've already covered separately in another video the evidence for how Paul was speaking in code. But Yeshua was too. And he comes out and says that to the apostles. Yeshua and Paul both spoke in code in general for several, but sometimes different reasons. One common reason was that the extent of the need for coding was a reflection, as everything external is, of the dominant level of conscious awareness in the collective at that time. With respect to Yeshua, Yeshua's early mass followers did not have energetic, quote, ears to hear. He uses that term a lot. And they didn't understand anything but the most basic parable stories. Paul's coding was also a reflection of the ears to hear, but more so with respect to the Pharisees' unwillingness to allow their very rigid beliefs in the law to be challenged. So Yeshua's parables were designed to be a soft touch, story-based, and easy to understand literally to a certain extent. But the literal meaning was not the real meaning. He, also masterfully, and in spoken form, which is even more challenging than the letters that Paul wrote, told the parables in a way that also had a deeper, more energetically true meaning that would become visible for those who moved up into spirit and higher consciousness energetically and received sufficient higher knowing through revelation. Whether they received it directly from spirit or via a divine messenger, and whether that messenger was celestial, like angels, or corporeal, like me, doesn't matter. Your guides are still sending it to you. In any case, that knowing comes through cognitive understanding, energetic discernment, and a soul resonant recognition of its higher truth for the good of all to the harm of none. You know it's resonant because you feel it deep inside, but it also is going to have all the energetic markers of something that is in higher consciousness. It is not going to violate those. Both Paul and Yeshua understood that certain teachings containing revelation of higher truth and meaning should still be earned energetically, because the earning of it requires being in the energy of righteousness as a failsafe against those few who embrace Antichrist energy, which only applies to those who have some direct knowledge through spirit. And that does not apply to the souls who are as ignorant children, because Antichrist energy is characterized by knowledge of spirit energetically, but then using that higher knowledge in service to self and or to harm others. So that's a polarity of Christ consciousness, because Christ consciousness is to use higher knowing in service to all as a loving return to the one. Their constraints, both Paul and Yeshua's, which informed their manner of coding, were different, though with some very important overlap. That their directive and divinely guided words had shared higher purpose, which was to reflect to those across the ages who move into higher consciousness that the higher truth that we may independently receive through revelation, divine download, is confirmed in ancient texts, and that it was always so, it was always there. And that revelation shifts the external, literal read of scriptures, which is a marker of egoic lower consciousness, to one of inner meaning and resonance, where truth converges in the divinity and faithfulness of the underlying divine energetic design, which is for us. It's meant to prosper us and not harm us, just like it says in Jeremiah. So, heck yeah, they use coding. We're going to talk all about it. We got lots more to come, but there's a lot you can do to start tapping into higher consciousness yourself. And you're going to start to feel these things. You're going to start to get your own messages.